Right then, guys. Good evening all. Sounds like we're having fun. So, first of all, my name's Dunnaway, and I want to quickly introduce myself and thank you all for supporting and donating to such a great cause. Do you know how much 8 weeks comedy training would have fucking cost me? But guys, it is a joke. But anyway, tell you a bit about myself. I'm a happily married man, got 3 young children. My youngest is 3 years old. He don't do much other than try and squat over a little pot for a piss. My 10-year-old daughter is getting to the age where she started asking a lot of questions. She came back from school the other day and asked me where babies come from. So we said to her, do you know the stork? And she says, yeah. And I said, babies bring them. So she simply replied, well, who shags the stork? My 15-year-old son's recently came back from a school trip to Birmingham, and he's told me how much he started to really love dinosaurs. And I've told him to fucking pack it in and find girls his own age. So... weird that is. But, you know, life was really hard for me growing up. I grew up with my 6 sisters at home. And, you know, being with 6 sisters, it was especially hard with the hand-me-downs. I mean, turning up for football in my sister's netball kit made me a fucking great streaker. I'll rip it off as soon as I realised we were the only lad wearing a skirt. Even when I'd return back to the class, the teacher would look at me and shout, wrong class, Karen. But, you know, I was really accident-prone and really, really clumsy growing up. And I once remember on the way to a lesson, I fell down a full flight of stairs. And I told my mum her shoes was too fucking big for me. But also, you know, I've had a lot of accidents in my life. I've been hit by a car 5 times growing up. And it's had a massive impact on my mental health because I just always feel run down. Anyway... I have got an older brother. He's a bit older than me, and there's a massive age difference between us. And I never used to see him much growing up. And I used to beg my mum to ask him to put my name on a visiting order. But it turns out, you know, I grow up, it turns out he was much like me as a kid. He was very clumsy and really accident-prone. In fact, he always accidentally drove off in other people's cars. But I did have a great role model, and that was my uncle. I remember watching my uncle once in a pub fight, and he beat 6 men up. All in one go, and because he's a nice guy like me, he got his phone out, rang for an ambulance, and I thought, man, I hope I can get a phone like his when I'm bigger. But guys, 1st of December, Merry Christmas, everybody. So, I hate this time of year. Having such a big family, I never really know what to get my sisters and my mum for Christmas. So, we always have a big get-together, and all my sisters, we all sit down in the local pub. This time we choose a bar and grill. So we all sat down, and while I was watching all my sisters absolutely savage their food like they ain't been eating for a week, I ordered myself a mixed grill, and I found a lot of comparisons. And I discovered that my sisters are very much like this mixed grill. So in no particular order, in case they're watching. I got sister number 1. She reminded me of the chicken tikka. She's, you know, mainly breast and thinks everyone should get her first. Sister number 2 reminded me of the shish kebab. She's short and fucking stubby. Sister number 3, well, she was like the fish pakora. She stinks. Sister number 4, she was like the king prawns. Not everybody likes her, but, you know, we always leave her till last. And finally, sister number 6, she reminds me of the onions, because she always looks a fucking mess. And she makes the others cry. But anyway, while I've got all my sisters sat down, I thought, now's a great chance to absolutely tell them about my newfound religion. That I started going to church, and I'm thinking of becoming a Christian. And despite how nervous I was, when I started telling them, it turns out a few of them are more religious than me. So I told them, I think I'm going to get baptized. And my one sister looked at me and says, Jesus Christ here. And I said, yes, that's him. And the other one looked at me and said, holy crap. And I said, you know, that's what I did with the chicken tikka, you know, before I come on. Another sister looked at me and said, God damn, I said, you will need a damn if you don't come to church next Sunday. But the worst thing was my mum's look on her face. She looked at me and she just shook her head and she says, fucking hell, Ian. And I said, Mum, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. You know, she was really cross. But anyway, moving on, my wife's been helping me and she's been supporting me with all of this. And she's also been listening to my material in the morning before work. So I got up the other morning and thought, I'll read it to her. So I opened the curtains so we can see my notes. And she jumped up out of bed and said, Ian, close the fucking curtains because the gay couple over the road was seeing me naked. And I said, come on, Trace, if the gay couple over the road sees you naked, they'll close their fucking curtains. So, but Tracy now, my wife, she does this thing now where she texts me and she added all these little emojis on, which really confuses the shit out of me. I was late from work the other week, and I thought I'd send her a lovely message saying, "Hi, babe, what do you fancy for tea tonight?" And she simply replied with a donut and a picture of an aubergine. Oh, she was pissed off when I turned up 2 hours later with a box of Krispy Kreme and a fucking ratatouille. Nevertheless. But anyway, guys, I'm doing this tonight to support and, dedicate this to a great friend of mine who's sadly no longer with us. But it turns out he was a bit of a comedian himself. He once said to me when he saw me in the front, he said, "Hey, Ian, can you give me a hand later and pop man and fix the fence?" And it wasn't until I turned up he told me there was fucking 14 holes to dig, 14 posts, 13 gravel boards, and 24 fucking fence panels. But it turns out he's, a great comedian. So anyway, that's him. And looks like my time's up. So guys, thank you all. Have a great evening.